Look at how, I was just going to say, look how straight his swing is.
Well, they've both got family mallets. So Greg's is made by his
brothers
and Trevor's made by his dad. Okay, good morning everybody. We're here at Mackie Park, Tempe for the final of the New South Wales Men's AC Open. And my name is Steve Miles. I'm not a great player like these ones, but a great player is sitting next to me, and that is Joanne Brown, also from the Camaret Club. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. I think Steve is just having a little joke there.
Well, Joanne, you're a member of the state team, which I have never been and never will be. But here we've had the toss, and it looks like Greg Fletcher has won the toss and has chosen red and yellow.
Yep.
So what sort of opening would you do here, Joanne?
Oh, well, I just do the standard, but obviously at this level, it looks like super shot's going in.
Yep, so this is the first turn. There's the super shot, which is a ball roundabout level with the peg. Now, what's the new normal reply to this? So Trevor's going to...
This is interesting. So what's he doing? He's going to try and put one opposite.
Yeah, so he wants to shoot at the red, but he doesn't want to go through to the boundary, because if he does, then Greg's got an easy shot. Interesting.
Oh, he hits.
Oh. You can tell from the commentator's reaction that that was a good result. But you can see that Trevor's ball wasn't travelling that far. So Greg Fletcher's opponent is Trevor Bassett. Trevor Bassett's a member here at Cooks River, and Greg is a member down at Ballarat, so he's a Victorian player. Trevor's nominally a New South Wales player, though he lives closer to Melbourne than he does to Sydney, because he lives near the New South Wales Victoria border. Where does he live, Joanne?
He lives in Kyabram, not too far from Shepparton, I think.
Right.
Maybe a little north of Shepparton.
So every time he comes, it's a fair drive. Oh, he usually flies, doesn't he? Yeah.
He flies up
Yeah.
to Sydney usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a fair drive.
Okay, so there you are. The reply is that having made the roquet, he's croqueted red into corner 4 and gone himself into more or less corner 2. So that's a pretty nice croquet to put red just there.
Beautiful, without going out. These lawns apparently have been very fast. They'd be, with all the rain last night, they'd be a little bit slower.
Most people say they're fast, but I think they're really just the speed they should be.
Yeah.
So many lawns are too slow, but these lawns were bowling green lawns once upon a time, and they're cut quite short. I'm told they're cut to the 5 cent piece height, but they're pretty well grassed. They're couch lawns, so they're pretty green for this time of year. So it's a credit to the Cooks River Croquet Club who look after these lawns. We'll just be quiet while Greg lines up. Ooh, just a miss. So the interesting thing is that Greg is playing with an Invictus mallet. Invictus is a croquet mallet and ball supplier run by Greg's brother Robert. And interestingly, Trevor's mallet is made by Trevor's father, who's also a mallet maker. So very much family mallet versus family mallet. What sort of mallet do you use, Joanne?
I use a trimmer.
Trimmer. How long did it take you to wait for it?
8 months,
8 months.
maybe.
Wow. And what did it cost?
Oh, I can't remember.
They
Fair amount.
a fair amount, because I think
Beautiful shot.
beautiful. So there you are.
So fourth turn in, Trevor hits yellow just out of corner 2 with blue right there, and it looks like
Does
No.
he have a cannon?
no.
No, not quite. Not quite, but gee whiz. He can more or less do what he likes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Make sure he gets position on the blue to rush blue up to hoop 1.
To red, I think.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to go up to red. That's the difference between a good player and me. Yeah.
Well, I'm just basing that on where the rush was pointing.
Yeah.
But he's rushed up, 5 yards
Yeah.
north of red.
Yeah. So the idea is that he can then take a croquet shot over to behind red and rush red over to hoop 1, while at the same time bringing blue into, where's black? Sorry.
So bring blue
Yes,
a little bit
yes,
into
bring
the lawn.
blue into the lawn. I was right. I couldn't think.
So
Yeah.
it's nice. So when he hit on second turn and put red up towards corner 4, he left it just outside so that it's going to be easier for him to get in behind it and get the rush.
Yeah. So for those of you who play GC, you would know already that AC is roquet, croquet, continuation. But it's always a good strategy to try and use the 4 balls in any turn. Don't have to get them in a perfect spot, but you want to do like Trevor's done and get blue a bit more into the lawn, which is in a handy enough place for either hoop 4 or hoop 3 as he goes around. Okay, so now he's used all the balls. and he's going to do a takeoff back to hoop 1.
Quite a long takeoff, so he's, 8 yards?
It is.
Ooh.
That looks
Yeah.
useful.
Looking to see if he's got the wire between red and blue. He must.
Okay.
He's going back to blue.
That was very gettable, that hoop, wasn't it, Joanne?
Oh, maybe for those who have a history of GC. Not for those of us who focus on AC. With red on the other side. And
Yes.
Greg as an opponent.
Well, certainly in AC, if you miss a hoop, it can be quite significant in the game. Whereas in GC, if you miss a hoop, well, it doesn't matter. You can get to the next hoop as the first shot if you lose that hoop. Or even better, you're stuck in the jaws, you get a good shot for the next hoop
Yeah.
to set up.
So it looks like Trevor did get the wire, so red wasn't able to shoot at blue and black. So he's going back to partner and misses.
Not a good start for Greg. He's missed a few shots that you would have expected him to get one.
Early days.
Early days, yeah. Well, both players only had one triple, I think, in the round robins. So triple peels aren't as common as they used to be, Joanne. Why do you think that?
Well, no idea.
No idea.
I've only ever done one in my life, and that was just in a social game. So.
Same for me. But actually I did an OTP because I forgot which was my ball. And I thought, yeah, I'm feeling this one really well.
OTP or a TPO?
Well,
Did you win?
no, it was an OTP.
Oh, OTP.
Yeah. Okay, so now what do you think Trevor's going to do, Joanne?
He's going to have to come down to these two. Don't know where he'll put blue. So he's just rushed blue over to the west boundary. He's going to put blue at 2 by the looks of things and come down to...
So he's
Maybe he's
going to do
try
an
and...
overtaking roll. Okay, so the front foot was nice and forward. I wish I could do an overtaking roll like that.
Look at that. That's
Pretty
lovely.
good position.
Yeah.
Blue right there for hoop 2.
Oopsie.
So will he go for red or yellow? Looks like red.
Yeah, it'd be easy to get the rush on yellow.
Yep.
What have we done here?
He measures in. So the referee for this match is David Stanton, sitting up at corner 1. David's a life member of Croquet New South Wales, a life member of Camaray Croquet Club, and a permanent fixture at almost any tournament, GC or AC.
Well, let's hope so. Does a fantastic job of arranging all the New South Wales tournaments.
That's right. He also arranged this tournament, which includes working out the draw, working out the format. With 10 players, it's always a bit of a nuisance. Much better to have 12, but we certainly have a quite high quality final here between Greg Fletcher and Trevor Bassett. Trevor Bassett playing with black and blue, and Greg playing with the red and yellow.
No, he's going to go for this one.
You think he'll go for that one? Yeah. Looks pretty well straight from here.
Ooh,
And through it goes. The good news is it's through.
a little bit hampered on his next shot.
The
though.
bad news is it's through. Well, it's still
Just
it would've-
through.
Yes, it's a bit hampered.
I think it's okay though.
Yeah. Well, it's always a good idea to call the referee because you don't want to have a clean shot that people think, oh, maybe that wasn't clean.
Yeah, that's right. And the nice thing is he knew straight away he was going to be hampered, so the mallet went up straight away.
Yeah.
Well, it's taking a sweep shot, so
Now,
it is hampered.
So what's the important thing for Trevor to remember with this shot, Joanne?
Well, I'm
You
not
got-
sure. I'm wondering
well,
why
he's
he's
not all
walking
that-
away.
Yeah, he's getting something.
Okay.
He's going to hammer the hoop in.
So
okay.
obviously, so the mallet head is going to hit the carrot. So
That's
the
right.
carrots
So
of
the
hoop.
mallet heads, the carrots are a little bit clear of the ground, and he can ask for the hoop to be hammered down so that the carrot is below the ground, which means he can then sweep over the top of the carrot. He has to be very careful. He can move the mallet head along the grass, but he can't rest the handle on the grass.
Or on his.
Or on his body. Or
Body.
rest his arm on
He's
the
done this
grass.
before.
Here we go. Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Just misses. So now
It's like I say, the croquet god is a cruel god.
it is.
So,
So Greg has probably a 7, 8 yard shot, or maybe 6 or 7. Oh no, he's looking at red. I think red might be.
so if he hits red to blue and makes the roquet,
it'll
then
be
he's got
easy.
black and yellow in a
Yeah.
lovely spot. It depends on whether it's clear or not.
Doesn't look
Yep.
like it's a very open shot. So
No.
going back to yellow.
It's amazing the magnetic attraction that a hoop has for a ball, a hoop leg at least. So even though it's not as good a shot, Greg's going to take yellow. My personal rule is to always take the closest ball. Don't make it hard on yourself.
Well, it looks like that's what he's doing because
Well,
red
they're
is
both-
wide on.
I suppose blue is the closest to red, but I
I
also
think
don't
it's-
like to take a hampered shot.
Yeah, that's right.
There you are.
Well, nicely done and cut down behind hoop 2, so he's got
Yes.
a choice of. Got a few options.
So these good players are able to make those roquets and get a direction with the cut, which is
You can't do that, Steve.
well.
Certainly I can't.
When I coach people, I say, look, anything over a yard, you're just trying to hit. I mean, maybe 1 yard to 3 yards you can try for a cut, but after that, you're just hoping it hits. But my level of croquet is a little bit different. Well, it doesn't make it any less enjoyable, of course.
That's right.
So you find that AC is a different game to GC insofar that there's a lot more variety in it, I find. But it can be a bit lonely if you're having a bad day. Do you play GC, Joanne?
Very rarely.
And how do you go when you do? How do you enjoy it?
I go all right. I don't mind it, but I play, 1 or 2 games and that's enough for me.
Well, yes, I usually find 2 games is plenty, but it's very enjoyable. I probably play GC once or twice a week.
Oh, I might play once or twice a year.
Well, it's a very sociable game. It's a great game that you can just rush down to your local club, have a game or 2 and then go on with the rest of your life for the day. AC tends to be 2 or 3 hours. So by the time you get there and get home, it's the whole half a day gone. But on the other hand, it's a much more rewarding game from the point of view of the range of skills that you use. I think GC players might argue with that. Is there anything on the live stream?
Yeah.
Is there anything on the live stream? I haven't got mine to
No,
work
there's only
yet.
3
No.
people watching.
Only 3 people watching. Well, that says a lot about the quality of the
It's
commentators.
early Sunday morning.
Yeah. But if you want to, you can send some questions in on the chat line. Here we go. So, Greg's now ready. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 balls in a row. He's through.
So he's on his way.
So it's 1-1. It's a tie already.
And we all know that that means nothing.
Okay. So Greg will be expecting to do his break of 9. Pretty well set up. Got a nice pioneer, but
And has he, in his previous games, any problem making the 9, or he just
No.
goes round, sets his leave, and
no, he's been fairly
consistent?
solid. He's had a few hoops scored against him, but that's probably more to his opponents than him. Of course, that was a reasonably big roll to do, but he's practiced them. As listeners probably know, the normal thing in croquet is to try and have a receiver ball and then a pivot ball somewhere along the way to the next hoop, and then a pioneer at the hoop you're going to. So where do you think Greg will put the black for his croquet shot, Joanne?
Well, don't think he's going to put it all the way to 4, but who knows?
Is he going to come back
Invictus
and try and
Melts are
get
pretty
red?
good for stop shots, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
so
going to
they
come back and
say.
get red.
We'll see what the stop's like. Okay.
Oh, that's just going to keep on going to 4.
Still, that's a pretty good
That's a great stop
ratio.
shot.
Yeah. Yep. So, do you think he intended to go that side of red? Or would he have tried to rush red across?
Well, if it were me, I would have tried to get west of red to rush it across.
It would be a bit risky
North
with that
blue.
hoop in the way.
Would, but I'd still have a go because, I don't think well about these things.
Yeah. But if you can roll as well as Greg. Look at that. Now he's got... Oh,
Yep, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
yep.
And again, he's going to have all the balls in a row.
And he'll try and cut blue a bit so he can approach hoop 3 from the top. Oh, not quite that, but a little bit of difficulty here.
For you and I, maybe?
Well, not a good place to break down.
No. But he's right in front of foot out, so...
Yes, yes. But of course, Greg will be practicing these sort of shots all the time. The hoops are set at 11/16 with a downward tolerance of 1/32, which I dare say they're quite close to, so they're pretty tight. We're still using Dawson balls here. These are the Mark II Dawsons.
It's Mark 2s. I thought they were Mark 3s.
Oh, well, sorry, the latest ones.
Yeah,
yes,
Mark
yeah.
3s.
Yeah. Yeah. These balls are fairly new. So interesting, the Invictus people also make balls, but they're twice the price of the Dawson balls. Have you played with the Invictus balls, Joanne?
Once.
How did you find them?
Well, I don't know that I actually got in much, so when I say I played with them once, I didn't take too many shots with them. But yeah, fine.
I found them quite wonderful to play with when I played with them. Compared to Dawson's, the newer Dawsons are a bit bouncy. But that might reflect the player as much as the balls. But
Well, I was going to say, the better the player, the more sensitive they are to the balls.
oh, thank you, Joanne. That's very nice of you to say that.
But
Okay. So here we've got Greg going for hoop 4 with black. So these good players always make it look so easy.
I know. It's so frustrating.
Never a hard hoop, never a long row. Well, only 1 or 2 long roquets.
But they even make the long roquets
Yeah.
look easy.
So Greg's grown up with Robert Fletcher being his brother. Robert's #1 in the world for AC. Malcolm Fletcher, also his brother. Malcolm's number 13 in the world. And Greg's just a humble number 24. So you can imagine what the family croquet party is like. It must be like the final of a world championship. Greg's always a fairly steady player, looks fairly relaxed. I don't know how relaxed he is on the inside,
He does look very relaxed.
but he takes it all in his stride. He has just won the Fletcher Sharp International for GC players under 35.
Okay, I didn't realise he had won it.
Yeah. He had a pretty good tournament. One of the other players in this tournament is Sam Cuthbert from Cheltenham Club in England. He came out for the Fletcher Sharp International as well.
How do you go?
Oh, I didn't really check those results too much. But a good question. Someone can look it up on croquet scores, of course. All the results for this tournament are on croquetscores.com.
So this is the first time I've seen Greg play.
Ah,
I've seen Robert and Malcolm play each other in a final.
right. Yeah.
But, all 3 brothers are so consistent.
Well, the first time I went to see Robert play, he was over at Camaret, and I rushed over for the final of the Dixon Advisory Tournament. I saw Robert was playing Kevin Baird, and Robert missed his first shot in. Robert was playing second, and Kevin hit with his second shot, went round for 9, did one of those leaves where all the 3 balls are together near the boundary midway. I think that's a 3 ducks lead.
Yep.
And then Robert missed with his second shot, went the other ball in, and Kevin went round and triple peeled. So I got to see Robert do 2 shots.
Oh, no.
That was in Kevin's golden period. But it was good to watch. Oh. Hasn't taken long to get round to 1 back. So 6-1. Would you have liked blue a bit deeper across, or?
Just long as I got the rush on red, I don't think I would have minded.
Yeah, so he wants to be able to put red across to 3 back. So we've started to go counterclockwise around the lawn now. So the hoops are called 1 back, which is this one, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back, penultimate, and then rover. Rover is the red hoop, which in AC is always placed as what is really hoop 5. Of course, in GC we put it on as hoop 3, because hoop 3 becomes hoop 13, 13-point game.
So...
But you don't know about that, Joanne, because you don't play GC that often.
No, it always confuses me when I turn up at a lawn and Rover's sitting at hoop 3.
Okay.
So what sort of lead is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have thought he'd be doing a new standard lead.
So once
But
you go through hoop one back, you give away a lift. If it's the first turn, you go through one back and four back, you give away a contact lift. So most good players will go round to four back but not go through it. So they make 9 hoops but they don't make the 10, because giving a contact leave is a big advantage. What you try and do is have your opponent have a lift leave, but you leave your ball so that the opponent can't really have a easy shot. So he's put blue, which is the opponent's ball, by 3 back. The rule is to make sure you go through 3 back with your opponent's ball so you can do a better leave. So we're not quite sure what sort of leave we're going to do. We'll find out soon.
what do you usually use? Which leave do you use?
I usually just try and put them wide apart. Because when I try and get them to find around the peg, I seem to mess it up. And I've never been able to do the new standard leave. Well, if I do, I end up messing it up and never completing the leave properly. So the traditional leave is to have a ball, the opponent's ball, sort of snookered by the wide by the peg. You can either have one ball close to peg and one on the opposite, near the opposite boundary. A new standard leave is where you leave one of your opponent's ball back near one back and the other ball against the leg of 3 back, or some variation of that.
And I'm still not sure what he's going to do.
Well, I think in the end,
He's going to do the diagonal spread.
yeah, so blue's going to end up near the east boundary and
West
black
boundary.
will be against the peg with a hampered shot if you want to hit red and yellow. So
And the rain's come back.
it has,
It was almost pleasant for a while though.
yeah. Has been some wet days today.
Yeah.
So, Joanne, I've had a question. How did you get onto the live stream? You said you Googled.
There's a link on Facebook, Croquet New South Wales
Oh, of course, yes.
page on Facebook, or it might be the. Well, I just Googled New South Wales AC Men's Open live stream, and
Good.
it came up with Facebook, which had the link.
Okay, so that'll be in Croquet New South Wales Facebook page, or you can Google it. Here we are. Greg's going through 3 back. Oh, he just clipped blue.
But that's okay. He's going to put blue down near, well, as close to the west boundary as he can, down towards hoop 2. Going to,
Sorry,
although
yes,
it
the
looks
west
like he's playing a
boundary.
roll, so
Yep.
yep. Getting a good position on black to put it near the peg.
Yes, I think I
Okay,
got my
so it's
orientation.
not near the west boundary, it's between 1 and 2.
I think I got my orientation confused before. I was trying to. It's always confusing because the blue hoop is the south of the lawn. Luckily today it's south is also true south. So yes, west is west and east is east. So
Oh, that's nice.
we want to have black in a position where blue can't hit it.
Well, particularly as it's blue is 7 yards in from the boundary, so
Yeah. So this is a fairly traditional leave, but of course you want blue closer to the west boundary.
And this is where I go wrong. This little takeoff.
Yeah.
I tend to push the croquet ball a little bit too far and then open it up on the partner ball.
Well, the secret to all these things is practice, practice, practice.
Absolutely.
Greg will be thinking, I know what to do. I've practiced this many times. So now where do you think he's going to put his red and yellow, Jane?
Well, ordinarily you would put it so that the shot with black is hampered by the peg, but and that's where he's looking, over on the east boundary, but it's going to be a little bit low, isn't it?
Okay, so it's on the Croquet New South Wales Facebook page, but I just got that by Googling AC New South Wales Men's Open live stream. So Greg's going to go over to the east boundary. Not as far as I thought. I thought he would have tried to go a bit closer. Oh no, he's trying to make sure that black can't get a shot on those balls because black's backswing will be hampered.
It's hard to tell from
It's hard to tell from here, yeah.
where black is, because it almost looks like it did move a little bit too far.
Yeah, but given the way Greg's lining up, I'd
Yeah.
say he's certainly trying to make sure that black doesn't have a shot on red and yellow. If blue can see any of black, if it misses, then it'll end up at red and yellow. So which ball should Trevor lift?
Well, this is always... Oh, well, let's have a look here. He's got a ball at hoop 2. If he lifts black... 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I reckon.
Oh, it's never a good idea to leave a ball in the centre. But, as you say,
with
it's
black.
Oh,
This is interesting. Get rid of that.
not quite. Oh, so you were right, Joanne. Wasn't
Yeah,
quite hampered. But
And I suspect blue might have... I think what Greg was doing was making sure he didn't have a triple with blue.
right.
So he was making sure red and yellow was completely wired from blue.
Okay, so
Okay.
he's taken black. So he's going to shoot. What would you shoot at, red or yellow?
Red. Which is closer to the boundary. I would shoot it red because then there's more room to get behind yellow to rush it somewhere
Yeah, if you hit.
if you hit.
But it'll. Yep. So if you haven't found, there's a link on the Facebook page that gives you the URL.
Okay. Trevor shoots and
That's how I
misses.
got there. So how do I find the URL?
No idea.
So if someone knows the URL,
Sam
they
might
can
know.
post it on the Croquet New South Wales or the New South Wales Community Facebook page. As I said, I just Googled it and it came up with a link on Facebook and went through to YouTube. I did try to search on YouTube, but that didn't work.
Is it on Croquet New South Wales or
It's on-
Community?
It should be on Croquet New South Wales.
I'll find it.
Okay, so Greg's come across to here. Now his priority this turn is going to be, I assume, to get a triple peel. But you can see the black's in corner 4, which takes blacks out of play, which makes it harder.
That's the URL.
So
Maybe you put it in the chat.
yes, it's
I'll try and copy
it's on the Croquet New South Wales Facebook page. So
Well, so he's putting it in the chat, because if it's in the chat, you have to be on it to see.
that's right. So it's on the Croquet New South Wales Facebook page.
It was
It's the link.
posted 3 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. So
Perhaps
it's
I'll
fine.
repost it.
Yep. Okay. So now Greg's about to start his break. So yellow's a pioneer for 2. His challenge will be to get across to 3 to start his triple peel. A triple peel, of course, is where you peel your ball through 4 back, penult and rover, and then peg out. So Greg will be trying to make sure that Trevor doesn't get another shot in this game. But black is stuck in that corner 4, making it quite difficult, which is why you can see Trevor chose that as the option from the lead. A big roll coming up here.
Okay, I've just reposted that on the Croquet New South Wales Facebook page.
Okay,
It says it's tomorrow, but it's actually happening right now.
good. Yep. Here we are. Certainly it's on my phone.
Good.
Now let's have a look at this roll. Yep. There's that between the leg style. And a bit of a pivot on it. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so he's got blue over there. After he makes hoop 2, he'll have to get yellow over there. And then a strategy to get black out of the corner. There's a lot of work in this triple peel. Or will
I
he
think it
go
will
for
have to be a
triple?
delayed triple.
A delayed triple. So normally the first leg of a triple peel is done off hoop 3 after you've gone through hoop 3, but a delayed triple it's usually done when you're going for after you've gone through hoop 4 and you're going for after you've gone through hoop 5 and you're going for hoop 6. Here we are, nicely placed, and yellow's down there, so Greg can go through and get a rush on yellow over to 3. Oh, well, we'll see. If he's going to have a delayed triple, he'll try and put yellow down at hoop
Down at 4. Yeah. Ooh.
Oof, I was going to say, you can see all the care that Greg's taking on this shot. And he bets against the leg. He's called the referee.
Okay, so I think he...
You think he's concerned about the carrot? Being a bit high, or...?
Well, he's left his mallet where his ball was. He wants the hoop checked. So he's taken note of where his ball was before he had the shot.
David taking
I
a lot of
don't know
care
if
to
he
mark the ball.
thinks it jammed or...
Looks like it's okay. So David's checking all the rotations of the ball to make sure that it can go through the hoop. Some balls are not quite perfectly round, but to me it looked like the trouble was the leg got in the way more than anything
Yes,
else.
me too. Well, that would certainly be my problem.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I would assume.
Yeah. So if it had jammed, then Greg will be entitled to another shot. But David Stanton, the referee, looks like he's decided it was a fair enough shot. And the hoop wasn't
And Trevor
too
comes
tight.
back on.
Yeah.
Now, interesting because red is now up against the leg of hoop 2 with yellow behind. Although there's a fair chunk sticking out, so
Well, that's
be tough.
4 or 5 metres and
Yeah.
half a ball. So it should be quite
Trevor's shooting at black.
doable. But
He's got to jump the hoop by the looks of things. Oh, and he does it beautifully. So he's joining up with partner up in corner 4.
yeah. It's the second time I've seen someone jump a hoop to do a...
I think I saw Sam do it on Friday.
Sam did on Friday as well. Yeah. So jump shots, of course, are a mandatory shot in GC.
Yeah.
You almost do at least a jump shot a game, but not that often.
Well,
in AC.
I believe Matthew Essick did it in the World Championships against Robert
Yeah.
in the semi when Robert had set up for a sextuple.
Oh, right. And made the roquet.
He made the roquet at hoop 1.
Right.
But it wasn't on.
So David needs to make sure that if there is contact or if red does move, that's because yellow has hit the ball, not the leg. So that's why Greg has called the referee. Woof.
All right,
Okay.
now this is interesting. So Trevor has a rush with black over towards yellow, which is west of hoop 1.
Yeah.
He's got a ball at 2. So he should be able to get going, in
Well,
theory.
our theory was that Greg would have gone through and done the triple peel, and that
Yeah.
proved to be very wrong.
It's just a theory.
Yeah. But you can see how quickly the fortunes can change in a game. Okay, so Trevor's played across so that he can get blue into the lawn and get behind yellow to make hoop 1 off yellow. Using all the balls, which is what we talked about earlier.
Where
on.
is he going to put blue though? Because he doesn't really want to leave partner in the middle of the lawn. But he might.
I would put it as a pivot on the way to hoop 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but he hasn't got a great... Okay, but he hasn't got a great shot to hoop 1.
He's coming down to red. Wow. That's going to be hard to rush.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he's trying to do.
Oh no, he's playing black. He's for hoop 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course, yes, he's already made hoop 1. Yeah. So you can ignore our commentary for the last few minutes. Here we are. A nice little tap to get in front of hoop 2. Okay. So Greg's made his hoop 2 on
Trev.
Trev, on the way to making his 9.
He's got a nice little
Break
rush
of
up to
A
now
break of
put
8
red
to
at 4 and get to blue.
Yeah. So only blue left on white. Setting
So
up.
here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What about a TPO? He's got yellow over there.
He's still got blue.
Yeah, I don't know when you would consider doing a TPO. But this will tell us.
TPO
Yeah,
is...
he's putting blue in escape ball position, so... He's going for it.
We'll see, yeah. So a TPO is where Trevor would try and peel the yellow through the next 3 hoops and then peg out the yellow, which would leave Trevor with 2 balls against Greg's 1. So a pretty cheeky, audacious thing to try to do. First time I played Trevor, he set up for a sextuple peel against me, which showed you how worried he was about the quality of my game.
Did he get it?
No, he got 4 of them. Now, here we go.
Okay, so he is going for it.
So you can see he's got yellow in a peeling position, blue so that he can rush blue down to hoop 4, and a lovely pioneer in red at hoop 4. There's the first leg. So Trevor's always a fairly aggressive player. He doesn't leave the lawn wondering what if.
Absolutely. And this time last year, he recorded his 1,000th triple.
Wow, okay.
So
you've just
So
got
he's done a few.
999 to go.
Oh no, I didn't record mine. Mine was a social
No,
game.
he's still got 1,000 to go. Yeah. One of the players in this tournament, Paul Skvork, made his first competitive triple.
That was very
In this
exciting.
tournament, and he was pretty chuffed with that.
So, I mean, he's got balls in perfect position, really.
Yeah.
That gets a rush back down to yellow.
So what's he going to try and do now, Joanne?
Well, it's coming down here so that he can, coming down to yellow so that he can push red up towards hoop 6, trying to hold a rush on yellow to get it over so that he can peel it through Penalt. Doesn't have to be perfect though, because he's still got a couple of hoops to...
So he'll try and do his peel when he's going through hoop 6, won't
Yes.
you? After he's gone through hoop 6.
Yeah, so he's just
But
trying to
he
move
needs
the
to
balls
get it
over
across
there.
there now. Yellow across there.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Got a nice rush on yellow.
Yep. Because blue's in a pretty good position to be a pioneer for hoop 5.
Yeah. Oh, that was bad luck.
I don't think that was intended.
That's all right. He's done this over 1,000 times. He will have a plan B.
Yes, that's very much part of AC or GC croquet. There's always another way to do it. So he does a bit of a thicker takeoff and he can get yellow across. So he just See that he's taken a bit of an angle in his shot to get yellow across on
Nicely
his
done.
takeoff.
Oh. Okay, so he's having a bit of bad luck with the hoops.
Yes. Well, does he have a shot on black?
On
On
blue.
blue? On
Hopefully.
blue?
He doesn't think he does. Now, let's see.
So he's put his clip on.
Yeah, he doesn't think he's got a shot on
so
blue.
doesn't think he has a shot on blue.
It's hard to see how far through it went. He's got no good place to go, really.
Well, what was a nice shot, getting yellow across. Okay, gets black down onto the boundary. I suppose he wants Greg to play yellow, but Greg will play red. Well, that was cruel and heartbreaking, but
It was.
we've seen a couple of cruel things in this game. Right. Cut down to black. You can see these players always try and use all the balls that they've got. It's much easier to have a short rush than a long rush. So for GC players, AC players are forever trying to rush a ball, which is do a roquet where the target ball rushes to somewhere where you can take a croquet from, and you want your croquet shot to be a reasonably short, easy shot, ideally, but not always that way. Most of the world's best GC players are AC players.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's half the game is balls apart, which is GC, and the other half is balls together, which is AC. The advantage is that if you play AC as well, you learn a bit more about cutting balls, and you also learn what to do when balls are together in GC, which does happen sometimes.
Also taking a croquet shot in GC.
Yeah. Well, if you've got two balls together, I mean,
Yeah.
the difference is when there's two balls are together in GC, you can't move them. You have to play them where they are.
Yes.
Here we are.
Ooh,
Bit
little roll
of
off.
an angle.
I don't think it'll be a problem, but
Well, Lewis,
it was a problem.
This is the hoop, yes.
Not a
Just
problem at
showing
all.
that David's decision was right, that the hoop is wide enough. Red went through with no problem.
Now what's he going to do?
Again. Stalk, stand, swing, follow through. Always the same approach, every shot. A little bit of rain still.
I think it's just dripping off our shelter.
Right. It's not a very warm day, a bit of a cool breeze.
It's getting colder and colder.
Yeah. Nice cut. still. He's got to make hoop 3. Nothing much on the way to hoop 4.
Just close that door up.
Yeah. So we'll see what's going to happen now. Oh, what a nice shot. Nice control, and what a great shot to practice all the time. Oop, that red ball is a bit stubborn. So Trevor's back in now.
Just
Trevor's coming across.
get the scores updated.
So, what's Trevor going to do? He's got black on hoop 5 and blue on hoop 1. Blue, of course, in a position that might be useful when Trevor goes, if Greg gets a shot with red. But blue might be a bit hampered in the swing if he goes to yellow. Being very careful to make sure how runnable red is through the hoop. So a good lesson there. It's always worth looking at where your opponent's balls are when there's a possibility that there's a bit of a difficult shot. Okay, so blue to black is Trevor's decision, which gets blue out of the way if it doesn't okay. Nice, gentle, looks pretty good, and a nice okay. That was a fairly gentle swing, but certainly travelled pretty straight, so full credit to Trevor's father for making the mallet. Not a standard Bassett mallet, especially made for Trevor. It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? So,
Yellow is...
and probably a lesson here as well. Trevor's quite willing to put red through the hoop so he can get a good position on yellow. It's all about you scoring your 26 hoops rather than keeping your opponent from scoring.
So I've just entered the scores. Can you just check that I've done that right?
Oh, okay. I've only got 2-0, but
Oh no, I've just reset them.
no, it's counting up now. I've got 4 for black, which is correct, but I don't have any for blue, which is correct. I got
Red.
2 for red. It should be 3 now.
Red is 3, okay.
Yep. And yellow is 10. Hasn't gone through. We're trying to update the scores on the live stream, but yellow is on penultimate, so it's got 10. Red is in Trevor's pocket because he hasn't put it onto hoop 4 yet, so it's got 3. Black is on hoop 5, so it's scored 4, and Trevor's just missed.
He didn't get position
Sorry.
in front of hoop 1, so he's gone back to partner.
Right, he's going to say, good. Wasn't good enough.
Okay, so I
to
think
make
that's,
the hoop.
I think that's right.
So now what's Greg going to do? Wow, so he's going to shoot. Yeah, fair enough. I think I would have been shooting yellow or red. But of course yellow's a lot further away. This is probably very gettable. It might... don't think it's a double.
No, I don't think it's a double.
Great.
Oh, dead centre.
Yes. Yeah, pretty good shot. So now the game's swung around again. Just showing how closely matched these two players are. So it's on.
Despite the score, which, as we know, it's never over until the last turn.
Yeah. It's getting cold here. I'm going to have to go get my other jacket. I already have my rain gear on just in case. So blacked. Yeah, for hoop 6. Down to rush blue down to do a croquet to get behind yellow and rush yellow over to hoop 4, so Greg can take croquet to make hoop 4. He'll probably try and put blue at hoop 5, won't he, Joanne?
Yes. Just a fairly straight drive.
Probably need a bit of an angle on the
A little
null
split
head
to get the
ratio.
Yeah, but not a lot. It's not a roll.
So do you play your rolls from the side, or do you play them standing in the middle?
Generally centre, but
Centre, yeah.
if I need power, so a long roll, I will play it on the side. But I'm less accurate.
You were probably taught to play it from the side, weren't you? Who taught you?
No, Michael taught me, Michael Strickland.
Right, okay.
So, no. Well, generally always played them.
I thought Neil might have taught you. He likes that from the side.
Yes, but that's where I did learn
Get your
later
dress
on.
out of the way. As someone, as was necessary in the 1890s when you were wearing those big white dresses.
You say you.
Well, I mean, when people were married, and then someone taught someone's grandmother, who taught great-grandmother, who taught someone's grandmother, who taught someone's mother, and it's still taught today. Greg's having trouble with that red ball.
Yeah, so this shot is going to be tricky.
Maybe it is the ball.
Maybe it's the ball.
Not all balls are the same size, so in a tournament you usually have a set of rings to make sure balls are within the minimum and maximum.
So now he's got to shoot it blue over at hoop 5, and
he's got that.
not a problem at all.
But over time the balls get smaller just from constantly being hit. So
They probably get a little out of shape too.
They'd get a little bit out of shape, so you have to test that they go through the 3 rings. There's a middle, a large and a small. Well, you want it to go through the middle ring. You don't want it to go through the small ring. Sorry, there's 2 rings, a large and a small. You want to make sure.
Goes to the large, but not the small.
I can't remember. I watched Stephen Howes do it one day. He certainly doesn't want to go through the middle. It can't be too big. Yes, it can't. There is 3 rings. It can't be too big, so it's got to go through the large ring. can't go through the small one, and the middle one shows you the right size. 3 metal
Okay, so he's
rings.
put that right up to the south boundary. He's going to try and bring
Yep.
yellow into play.
So it is quite amazing how much smaller the balls can get over time. I remember measuring the balls for the Australian Open here 2 years ago, and the balls were legal size, but they were quite on the small side. Probably another 32nd. So the balls we've been playing with were quite small. Luckily, well, we had to use the ACA supplied balls in the end, and they were legal size. But we had compared them to the current balls that we were using for croquet in New South Wales, the then current balls. So
Not getting a rushed 5. Oh,
no,
yeah,
that's what I was wondering.
he made 4, didn't he? With the red, so we can pop that one up on.
So you still haven't got your scores correct.
They're correct here, aren't they?
Oh, sorry, it is correct. It's the can't see the 10. Yes, it's all right. Thank you.
And the 4
Yeah,
red is slowly being updated.
yeah,
Yeah. He's going to have to go for this because he's got yellow in the middle of the lawn. It's quite an angle,
yeah.
but he did just win the Fletcher Sharp, so... Ooh,
That
okay.
red ball again.
Second ball syndrome. I suffer from that.
So
Which ball is Trevor going to play? He's got a ball at his hoop, so...
yeah, but that's
so black and red are both for hoop 5.
that's a 9-yard shot, and I suppose blue.
And he's got a break set up.
It's a 7-yard shot. Yeah, that's true. Maybe he wants to make sure he finishes peeling.
Going for...
Oh, dear.
Oh, that was bad luck.
Oh.
So he's hit the peg, landed right beside yellow.
Well,
so
he's got to
that
play yellow because
red's hampered.
not playable. Yeah.
But it does mean that Greg can either make the last 2 hoops with yellow, or he can set up for red quite nicely.
Trevor should have taken my advice and played the blue. It was the closer ball, but
mind you, I don't know.
I think he was probably
Playing black,
concerned.
he could have then finished off gotten rid of yellow.
Yeah, trying to pick yellow off.
Yeah.
No longer a triple deal. Well, he doesn't want to go all the way to the peg, Greg, or make it easier if Trevor gets in.
It looks like he's going to.
Well, he's going to go. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, is a double peel or a single peel or a 0 peel any trouble to players at this level?
Oh, no problem at all.
So you might as well go all the way to the peg and make sure you do a good lead.
Yes.
With that horrible red ball yet to come. Okay. Bit of thought now.
So interesting. He's not giving away a lift, so he's got lots of options for setting a lead, depending on where he goes, whether he goes to the rover or the peg. He's now.
He's thinking about his end strategy.
Okay, so he's putting.
He's going to go to that hoop. Oh, luckily. Bounced off.
Okay, so he's put blue up as a pioneer for 2 back for red.
I'm not quite sure why blue is there. But I'm
Well,
sure
he's not
red
giving a
knows.
lift, so blue is safe there.
Correct.
It's at its
good
own.
limit, yeah.
It's at its own hoop, and it's also useful for red,
To make 5, yeah. Yeah, okay.
or just leaving it there for when he gets round to 2 back.
Yeah.
He's got 2 more balls to play, so it looks like he's going to make rover, as you would. I mean, a
Yeah.
rover peel for
It's no good leaving
Trevor
a
is-
single peel.
no, because Trevor's got plenty of time to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could make it when he makes 5, and then
Yeah. So where's black ball going to end up? What do you think, Jane?
I reckon it will be either down at 6 or wired through 5 from blue. No, he's putting it over at. Just ignore everything I'm saying.
Well, that's all right. There's never a right answer in croquet.
This is
There's no
interesting.
answer that's 100% correct.
So is he going to wire across one?
So he's going to try and cross wire black and blue using the hoop 1.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Nice touch. Yep. He wants to get across so he can rush red over to where he wants to do his leave.
Has to leave something open. He doesn't want to give
Well,
away a
yes.
wiring lift, so
Black and or blue have to be able to have a shot on.
it's something. One of his balls.
Well, each of those balls have to have a shot on the ball.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's a wiring lift. So if you're responsible for your opponent's ball, and that ball doesn't have a shot on any other ball, then you get a wiring lift, which means you can lift the ball to either the A balk or the B balk. But Greg will know that. So he's giving a shot for black and blue, but of course it's quite a long shot. And if Trevor misses, it gives an extra ball to Greg to use.
Are these games time limited?
They are, I think
Okay.
it's 2.5, 2.25, 2 cumulative sort of
Right.
time. Any leftover time gets carried forward. But they would be distraught if a game went for 2.5 hours, I think. Although I've seen some pretty good games go to 2.5 hours amongst the top players.
Well, they can finish quite quickly
They
if
can.
they're on and
Yeah.
not having problems with the red ball.
So Greg's making sure he's got the balls in exactly the right position. Probably just leaving one open. And setting up a nice rush so that red can rush yellow to hoop 5. Oh, sorry, red can rush yellow because he'll want to go across and get black and blue into the game as well. So probably, you think he'll make hoop 5, Greg, off blue? Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on which ball Trevor is going to play. He will have the choice of shooting at red and yellow, in which case he'd shoot with blue probably. I'm assuming blue and black are wide.
Yes.
Otherwise, Greg wouldn't be putting his
Well, I think
leaving his two balls together.
Yes, he'd be having a different strategy if they weren't wired.
Looks like he's having a little difficulty finding an open spot that's useful.
Being very careful, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how Greg marks the spot he's going to. Very important to look at the spot that you want, not the ball. Yep. Well done.
Okay.
See what happens.
So red has a rush directly up the lawn. Let's see what Trevor's going to do.
So Trevor's going to take the bother to walk down and look where the balls are. He's done that a couple of times, just showing how important it is not to make an assumption. It often looks very different when you're there.
Well, that's something I don't do. So well, from now on.
You've learned today.
Wow.
You've learned today. No, how often do you say, oh, is that what it was? I didn't realise. Yeah, particularly when you think a ball's runnable and it's not.
Okay, so he's just going to corner, putting blue in corner 2.
Yeah. Just play a waiting game. Sooner or later he hopes to get in. So
yeah, it's not going to be easy for Greg to get going from here.
Well, he didn't set up a rush. But anyway, it's not really just worth making 1 or 2 hoops. These guys want to make a full break.
Yeah, so he may just move the balls around a bit and set up.
Yeah. You can see that you can rush yellow down, but it's going to be difficult to make 5 of black unless he gets right behind it. And I can't see yellow getting to a position where he can do that.
We shall see. Here he comes.
Oh, Greg was off the lawn, probably having a comfort break. It might be a bit wet too because of the early on rain. So what's he thinking as he walks out? There's black. There's his mallet. As the listeners probably know, the Invictus Mallard is 3D printed from titanium. I think they're about $1,400. And a bit more if you get a travel handle. So expensive, but not as expensive as a trimmer. Oh, what a cut. Well, having said that, it'd be difficult to make boot 5 of black. It's not nearly as difficult now.
However, it will be hard to put yellow somewhere useful. So I suspect he might rush black down here to corner 2 and try and use...
Try and get behind blue to rush blue to
Yeah, I
5.
mean, you know, if he can get a rush to the corner, he can get a cannon, and
Oh, okay.
we are talking,
Yeah.
extremely good players here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's going to
No.
do a Steve Miles strategy. But he's got yellow quite a bit down in the lawn.
He has.
So we've seen that a couple of times today, doing a thick takeoff to get the ball down the lawn. Something you don't see often enough with normal players. Oh, not quite enough distance. Always a compromise between cutting and distance. But again, this is a shot Greg would have practiced many times. How often do you try and practice each week, Joanne?
Lately, 2 or 3 times a week.
Good. And play what?
Play
Once or twice, 2 or 3?
once or twice. So the last 3 weeks I was down in Wagga and practiced quite a few times on their lawns in the afternoons. They're generally free and they're fast at the moment.
Well, that's good. Yes, practice is what makes a difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. Oops. Just trying to find that link again.
So practice gives you that confidence to know what to do on a shot. So now Greg's probably going to try and get blue out now. He seems to be looking at blue. Yellow's in a useful position. Once he's made hoop 6. Okay. So now Greg's made up his mind. Important to make up your mind before you start your shot, isn't it, Joanne?
And important not to change your mind as you're swinging.
Yes.
That's a beautiful cut down towards blue.
Yes. So this is what we were talking about earlier on, rushing your ball down to where you've got a croquet shot that's not too hard. And where you can get behind the ball in the corner. Yeah, so too often when you look back on the shots you've messed up, it's a shot you hadn't really thought about. You maybe thought you had to hit the ball, but not how hard. Or as you said, Joanne, it's not unknown for some players to change their mind halfway through the stroke. But Greg certainly
Not
knows
intentionally.
what he was doing.
It just
It's
happens.
amazing how many times you do that, and you
Yeah.
know you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know you shouldn't do that. So that's the importance of always having a routine, same in AC or GC. Oh,
Okay. He hasn't got the rush to 6, but
Well, really, he just needs to have a break with red because he's
yes.
got yellow on the peg. So I assume he's going to set some sort of lead. Okay, get blue down the lawn, away from black.
He's still live on yellow, I see.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
So he's going to set up so that red will be able to rush yellow to the hoop if Trevor doesn't make the roquet. Oh no, I'm wrong. He's going to actually roll it down to hoop 6. Risky because it leaves yellow in a roqueable position. And that fat red ball
Wow.
for a long hoop.
Is he going for the hoop? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, this is where your GC hoop running skills come in handy.
Oh, that's just
Oh.
fabulous.
Well, yes. Yes. It had to be in the middle because a powerful shot like that would have stayed there if it hit a leg, but what a great shot.
Or ricocheted up to blue. That's what would have happened to me.
Okay. Still some work to do.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
look at
lovely
that.
as well. Just
Yeah.
beautiful shot. So yellow now up at 2 back. Easy to get a rush on blue.
Nice big swing. The younger players all have these big swings. Sam Cuthbert's like that. Ed Wilson's like that.
Quite a long mallet, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 36.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Well, I had a hold of it the other day. That's probably why he didn't make the hoops. I'd already touched the mallet.
Jinxed him.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. And nice past black so he can put blue down the lawn and get behind black to rush it into 1 back to take his croquet and make the hoop. Yellow set up there as a pioneer for 2 back. So Greg's well and truly back in control now.
Need to update the scores, don't I? So red is now 6, yeah?
Yes, red is 6 now.
And yellow is for peg. Okay.
A little bit of a cut required. Not a problem for Greg. So, there you are. So 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back, penalt, rover, and then peg out, red and yellow.
Oh no, the scores aren't up. Oh, are the scores updating on yours?
Yes, I have 6 and 12. Yep. I've got the right score on mine.
I have all zeros on mine, so how's that working? So Gareth has said, could you let us know the score?
It
Why is
might
it?
be that you're looking an hour ago.
Oh, there you
Change it.
go.
There you go.
Okay.
So I take it he just made one back.
Yes. Yep. Now he's going to set up black down to be a pioneer at 3 black. Bit of a stop shot. Because he wants to
Trying
end
to
up
hold for a rush on blue up
Yeah.
to.
load and hold, but okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Make sure you get the position of red. Okay, you can now load blue. What a lovely cut. Okay. So loading blue was going to be a problem if he'd done it from way back where he was, but with that lovely cut, you can now put blue across to 3 back and have a nice little roquet shot to yellow at 2 back. Getting more and more in control, Joanne.
Gradually bringing all the balls under control, yep.
Yep. Important to make sure every ball's in a better shot, but that your striker ball is in the place you want it to be. Bit of a long roquet. But look,
Not for Greg.
but blue's a lovely pioneer here. Oh, it's not about making the roquet, it's about having the control when you hit the yellow. See it?
Yeah, okay, so he's a little pushed
Yeah.
that a little beyond the
But
line of 2
again,
back.
a
But
shot he's practiced all the time.
yeah.
So these are the sorts of shots you should be practicing. Not easy, not hard, but they come into your game quite a lot. Okay. Should be runnable, but it's that terrible red ball.
I think he's got control of the red ball now.
Whoops, through it goes.
Not a problem at all. Hmm? Yeah. So now he's going to put yellow down towards 4 back, getting a rush on black, probably up towards corner 4. Or at least beyond blue at 3 back. And he's done that fairly nicely. Yellow's gone a little bit beyond 4 back, but not too far. Greg's just pushed black up towards the south boundary, so he can then move it down the lawn and get over to blue at 3 back. And he has a very easy, delicate croquet shot to approach 3 back. Okay. All under control. We'll now put blue at Penalt, going to black, rush black down beyond 4 back so he can get a nice little rush on yellow back in front of 4 back. Oh, red's gone a little bit too far. So I'll have to do a more difficult croquet shot to put black in a useful position and get behind yellow. Well, more difficult shot for me, perhaps not for Greg Fletcher. Or he'll just leave black where it is. No, so he's going to do a very thick takeoff, pushing black over in lawn. Oh, and red has hit yellow, so he'll have to do a takeoff back to get red in front of four back. Taking off from the hoop side of the ball, which is interesting. I always take off from the other side. Oh no, maybe not. And he's got a 3-foot hoop run. Which he puts through nicely to the boundary.
So we're through
four back.
Four back.
A nice load at Penalt. And possibly a rush up towards black.
Nice cut again.
So will he go over to black now and try and get a rush down beyond Penalt so that he can put black up at
Well, I
Rover?
suppose he wants to leave yellow always near the peg, doesn't he?
Yes.
So, yeah, he really wants black over near Rover. Oh, he's probably going to rush it up and then put it to Rover, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much a zigzag sort of game with your strategies. You always want to be approaching a hoop from above.
A little short on that takeoff,
Yeah, so that's changed it, but
but he can do
He's
a nice
okay
right angle
now.
shot. And
yeah, a bit of a roll. So,
any more jackets in the car? Oh, well, I might have to borrow one soon.
yeah. I've got a full change of clothes. You can't complain about that, can you? Look, black ball ready to go to make the hoop off Rover. Blue, right position to be able to roquet blue and get that little cut to get it. So his short croquet will get him right in front of the hoop with that horrible fat red ball.
He has a lovely easy swing on his rolls.
Yeah.
Looks like there's just no effort.
Yeah.
And they just land on the spot.
Yes, he pivots, but quite a controlled pivot, not a stabby sort of
Yeah.
roll. That's a hoop and roquet.
So just Rover to go.
And the peg out.
And the
but
peg
yeah.
off.
So, what's he going to do?
He's going to push yellow up to the peg.
Yep.
Oh, no.
No,
beyond
I thought
black.
he's going to do that. Push yellow back now and get the rush on black. Get red behind black. Much easier that way.
Except I wouldn't have the control with the rush to get it in the right spot so that my ratio on the croquet shot was right coming
Well,
back.
you have something to practice now.
I've got plenty of things to practice.
Yeah,
But he's done that beautifully.
Yep. Yeah, so maybe Greg's marks 37-38. That's the Solomon script. I think it's £2.12 again. Through we go. So it's looking like it's all over a Red Rover.
For game one.
So this is best of 3. The New South Wales Open last year was best of 5, where Callum Highland won the first game, and we thought, well, this is going to be quick. But then Stephen Pearce came back brilliantly to win the next 3 games and the championship.
Is it the men's or the New
That was
South
the
Wales?
Open.
men's?
That was the Open. Well, we can have a discussion about whether there should be a men's and an Open.
Well, if there's a women's, there should be a men's.
Right, you think we have a women's as a discriminatory sort of event?
Well, if there's only an Open and not a men's.
Well, the Open is the men's, isn't it?
Not always.
So we pegged out yellow. He should be able to make this peg out.
We'll discuss that in game 2. And that's game 1 to Greg.
Yeah. So how do you decide what to practice, Joanne? Do you have a fixed routine or a
I do.
schedule?
I do have a fixed routine, actually. At the moment, I just practice 3 ball breaks.
Oh, right. So 3 ball breaks.
And then when I've got that under control, I bring in the 4th ball out of corner 4. And then maybe have a practice at a triple. But usually
Right.
time's running out by then, so I don't get very far through it.
So what do you mean you practice 3 ball breaks? How do you start your 3 ball break practice?
Cannon out of corner 1.
Right.
And then I just go round and round and round. Not setting a leave, I go to Rover, and as I come through Penalt, I put that ball up towards 1.
And what
When I
happens
make
if
Rover, I get a rush.
What do you do if you break down? Do you go back to the start, or do you just...
Depends on how early I break down.
Right. You just keep going if it's
Yeah.
later on, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I take a mulligan. Play the shot again.
Well, it is only practice, and
Yeah,
your opponent's
exactly.
pretty generous. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. How long do you practice for?
Couple of hours.
I always find after about an hour I get pretty ratty. I think I've stopped learning now. I don't need to learn how to
Oh,
do
that's when
bad
I
shots.
change what I do. So that's
Right.
when I might bring in the 4th ball or practice a triple.
Yeah. Because it's pretty intensive when you practice. There's no time off the lawn. So that's interesting.
Well, you can take a break
Yes, that's true.
whenever you want.
Well, as you know, I just have to walk across the road to go home.
That's
so-
right.
But once I'm home, I don't tend to come back.
No, I don't know. Are they going to start straight away? Looks like they are. About to.
Yep. Do you want
I
a
might
jacket?
just take a little
A
3-minute
short
break.
walk. Okay. There's actually a camaret jacket on my back seat in a shopping bag if you want to grab that if you're too cold. Right. Okay, so they're having a little bit of a break. Greg's having a snack. Trevor's just wants to keep going, I suppose. Or do the opposite of what Greg wants, so he can keep in control. Well, that was a pretty interesting game. Swings and roundabouts. We could all see how careful they were taking their shots, making sure they know what shot to do. It's old time. Just setting up the time there. Looks like I had the times wrong early on as well. So it's a 3-hour game. This one, maybe it's 3:15, 2.5. Not that it matters, because this game won't go that long. Okay, so a conventional opening from Trevor. Oh, looks like we're going to have a Duffer's Tice, maybe? Yeah. No, into corner 2. The other standard opening is to put your ball onto the boundary, onto the west boundary, somewhere between hoop 1 and the peg, so that you've got a chance of hitting it if you're with your second ball. But of course Greg can hit with his second ball here if Trevor doesn't hit. Trevor misses, so we'll see what Greg's going to do. So this is often what you do when you're playing against someone with bisques. Put the ball into the corner 2, and try and get the ball a long way from the hoop. But I think now Greg's going to come down here and he'll shoot for the black and blue, trying to make a bit of an angle so he can have a double. And if he misses, of course, it then goes into corner 4 and is relatively out of play. No, he's heard me. And he's going to go for his ball. The closest ball, which of course is red in corner 2. Oh, a miss. So that means Trevor's got a cut black into the lawn down near hoop 3 and then come across to red and yellow. Probably put yellow near hoop 2, get behind red, and then make hoop 1 and away he goes. Oh, big cut, nice roll across. Okay. And you can see from here that now it's a much easier shot away to red and yellow. But he wants to end up rotating red and yellow so they're at least split a bit. Probably to go for yellow. Just for yellow. So it looks like yellow and red are touching. Nice little tap, so he's got a good dolly rush up to hook 1. Conventional grip on the mallet for Trevor. Nice little judge. Probably a little bit further than he would want, but still well on the way. Approaching the hoop from the top and not too much of an angle. Let's see his roll. Nice swing. Ooh, a little bit too far. A little bit too far. That's the trouble with such a long roll. Only a few inches in it. A little bit slower, and he probably would have had 9 guaranteed. So, just checking to see whether yellow has a clear shot on black, which I think it does from the angle here. So now a defensive shot with blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he didn't get position? Is that
Well, it was close, but not close
no
enough.
cigar?
Yeah.
It's much warmer when you walk around.
Yes, it is. that cold breeze makes a difference.
Okay, so just has to hit black, and
So on
although-
the lawn 2 we have this 3 versus 4. That's Paul Skavork playing Mike Hughes. Paul from Cooks River here and Mike from Camaray. Trevor Bassett is also a Cooks River member, but mainly travels here for his tournaments from
Kyabram.
Kyabram, right, near the Murray River.
Lovely
Not a bad
shot.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the third, fourth playoff, Mike won the first game. So they're into the second game now. Both on, both have a clip on hoop 1 and both have a clip on 4.
Paul's one of those players like you, Joanne, who practices a lot.
He does practice a lot.
Yeah, whenever you come to Tempe, you see him on the lawns. Yeah. What's Greg going to do now? This will be a bit of a slightly overtaking roll, isn't it?
Yeah,
much.
yeah. If he wants a rush on yellow up to 1.
So what's
on
the
red
secret
up
to an
1.
overtaking roll?
Oh, look, they're random for me.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't an overtaking
no.
roll, so Greg's got some practice to do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But he's probably not too much worried about black being where it is. Nice little cut.
Well, it's all about the angle of the mallet, isn't it?
Yeah, and a bit the speed, I think, and your feet have got to be a bit more forward.
Yeah. Well, your feet forward creates a greater angle on the mallet.
Yeah.
But also you have to consider the split that you're doing. The
yeah.
wider the split, the greater your striker ball will travel. In which case you kind of have to pull back on the angle. And Greg's off, having just made hoop 1.
Are you going to update the score?
I guess so.
See how we go.
I wonder if I have to...
So he's going to probably not pick up blue until he goes for hoop 4. No. He's thinking about picking up now.
What if I just...
Trying to cut red across to new corner 4 to pick up blue. Doing neither. Going to use the big roll, put red down to hoop 3. Yellow, near black. A lot of work in this.
It's a big roll.
Yeah.
This is where I would do it on the side.
So
just to get the distance.
This is not a great shot unless you're a good player.
Oh, that looks like a great shot to me.
Yes.
Another foot on yellow would have been good, but that's pretty...
Yes, but he didn't go out.
You didn't complain about that one.
Yeah.
Why?
So usually if you've got a roll like that, something's gone wrong along the way. So if your answer is a big roll, what was the question? The question was I should have done a better approach shot.
But coming out of 1, usually you haven't got much choice.
No. No. Well, you can do a bit of a fat takeoff.
Yeah.
More control from the takeoff. Oh, welcome to Jim Nichols.
Thanks, Steve.
Jim's has a world ranking, I think, in the top 100, but is currently relaxing with a very sore back, having had to withdraw from this tournament. Oh, the yellow's through. How are you finding this game? The first game, Jim. What did you think?
Well, I was probably a little surprised with the number of errors in it. I was expecting it to be a bit more cleaner than...
Yes, but a lot of the errors were just bad luck when Trevor finished in the hoop. I think when Greg bombed the red here on hoop 2, that was an error.
Yeah.
But yes, probably more mistakes than we expected. But it is a final, so there's a little bit of nerves.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves and all that sort of thing. So, probably no surprise to me is that Greg's shooting. And I mean, Greg's spent a fair bit of time in playing GC over the last 6 months. Obviously representing Australia in the World Team Championships in Tasmania. Playing the Fletcher Sharp, and then played the Australian GC tournament only last week. Was runner-up there, so shooting-wise, he's doing very well. But I know that he's keen to get some AC time on the lawn with the World Championships coming up later in the year.
And this is a good lesson about how to get a ball out of a corner or off a boundary where blue is. You can see that Greg's put the Pioneer at hoop 4. Pardon me, so now he can go down to blue.
Yep, and he's just doing that as a takeoff.
Yep.
Promote red across towards hoop 6.
But when you're a beginner, you often think, oh, well, it's on the boundary, I'll leave it. It's going to be trouble. But this is a good way to get it out, of course. Important to have a good Pioneer.
So yeah, he's loaded 6 quite nicely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, it even got that cut across.
he got the cut across. It was probably a bit longer than what he would have liked. I know for me, I would have liked to have been a bit closer to down towards blue. The speed of these lawns has been very good. When I was playing Friday, they started quite quick. We've had a little bit of rain, and obviously a bit of rain again this morning has slowed them up a bit. But the speed is quite nice.
So you can see how blue is now out and ready for hoop 5. So very good example of how to get a ball off a line or out of a corner.
Yeah.
And red also was pushed across with a thick takeoff. So here we go. This is looking pretty well set up, isn't it?
Ah, yes. Yeah. I guess the question now is, how he'll want to go about the rest of the break. I'm certainly interested to see what he's going to set up from here.
Yeah. So when do you start thinking about your leave, Jim?
Well, for me, it's I guess it's around about now. It looks like, and he's swapping balls over. It would seem. So with the break, you'd quite often putting a partner at 2 back. But given that this is a first break round and everything else is on hoop 1, I suspect he's just rotating the balls around to, and I would think that it might well be pretty much I'm expecting a diagonal spread.
Right.
I must admit I haven't seen too much of the play over the weekend.
Diagonal spreads have been reasonably popular, whereas it used to be the new standard lever a year or 2 ago. But you said there he's swapping the balls around. What do you mean by that?
Well, I guess it was one of those things. He's come out of hoop 4, and I don't know, probably for myself I would have just been, given that the load at 6 was quite tight, with red virtually in front of the hoop.
So what's his...
So
he's going to try and get...
He'll try and get black, I would think, and this is where I'm just not quite sure what the thinking was there of why he swapped.
Well, I think he wants to get
black.
red down to 2 back so he can... So when he goes to 3 back, it'll be either black or blue there. Probably blue. But, so after he goes through 2 back, he can put red near the peg to act as an escape ball when he does his lead. But, we'll see. TPT. There you go. So interesting now. What's he doing? Does he rush black down? Or?
No. Usually, in order to get the accuracy, you just you would tap it down. You'd just tap it and then drive it.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so he's got to put black across.
He's going to put black across, and he's going to then bring red back up north of blue. And then he'll play the drive shot to load 2 back.
So you can see.
So there was a lot of.
You can see how to load a hoop and make sure that you're approaching the hoop you're going for from the top side by hitting red back to the boundary and then load it up down to 2 back and put your yellow in a position to just tap blue, which he does. So he's got his red down where he wants it.
Yep, and he's got a nice short roquet on blue back in front of the hoop.
And Greg's favourite yellow ball.
And why is it his favourite?
Because red's been getting stuck in the hoop for him.
Right.
I think red is a bit fat.
Okay.
He had a bit of trouble with red in the first game. Nice shot, hoop and roquet. So do you do any coaching these days, Jim?
I haven't done much coaching. My time on the lawn of the last little while has been rather short. That's a good load over to 3 back.
Yeah.
Once again, he's keeping this. He's getting his striker ball close to whatever the next ball is, and in order to keep the break nice and tight. So we'll concentrate on here, just getting the. Once again, yellow just nice and close to red. He's put black there to give him the drive on red to the a bit wider the peg. But no, I haven't. I've spent a fair bit of time on the admin side of things in various things. So
with croquet.
With croquet. So that sort of eased up this last week or so. So I'm keen to get back on the lawn. I just wasn't expecting not to be back on the lawn.
So you're
being injured.
You're still chair, aren't you?
No,
The
AGM was on Wednesday, and so that was my last meeting with Croquet Australia.
Well,
so
congratulations on a long period at the head of Croquet Australia, and congratulations on no longer being the head of Croquet Australia. Which of course is. So who's the new chair?
So they had a meeting after the annual general meeting. So Pat Habner was elected as the chair, and Ben Richardson as the vice chair. So Pat, people would know of Pat from her time as president of Queensland. Whereas Ben Richardson, he was appointed onto the board late last year, and his background is more of media and the like across numerous sports.
Right.
So the board has taken appointed a couple of people in those appointed directors, and so that and one of the things that I was keen to have in my time on the board was to get outside eyes. We in croquet we know a lot of ourselves, but it's always good to get people from outside of the sport to
Yes, but people who
have-
still understand sport as well.
still understand
Yeah.
sport as well. So
So-
Greg has negotiated the first 9 hoops, and he's setting up here with a what will be a diagonal leave.
So a diagonal leave is where your opponent's balls are diagonally wide across the peg.
That's right, and
Usually one ball a long way away and another ball close to the peg, but with the peg in between the two. So you must be pretty happy now that things seem to be set up with the skill set and succession.
yes,
with, Croquet Australia.
yeah. That's I know that they're going to be still looking for a couple of directors. So at the annual general meeting, it wasn't all the positions weren't enough, or there was 2 nominated for 4 positions. So there's a couple of positions still there which they'll seek expressions of interest in the next.
Okay, so there's
while.
an opportunity if any of our listeners are wondering what they're going to do for the next couple of years, rather than play croquet.
You can get to do both, but it's not an easy balance there, I would say. So.
No. Particularly when you're still working, Joanne. So let's use it here. Joanne. No, I need to take a short walk.
So Greg's just finishing up on this leave, and he'll be looking at probably making that a very much just a single ball.
Do you think blue and black are wide? Or is black
blue.
a little open?
No, I would. If black was open, he wouldn't be leaving his balls together. He's having a good look at it though, so there might be just something that's. Rather than that, a very tidy break from Greg.
Similar to the first game.
There must be something worth looking at, given that he's
going for it.
So black might be just slightly open, and with maybe a full ball or something in the background. That
was a miss.
And that was a miss. And hopefully the young soccer player didn't put Trev off then.
Thought he was going to come and pick up the ball, actually.
Soccer has been played over in the back behind us, and the youngsters obviously keen to get to soccer.
And they can never find their way, because you can't go this way.
So we're just waiting for Greg to return. Meanwhile, in the Y.
The third and fourth playoff.
Third and fourth place, sorry. Third and fourth place. I know Mike Hughes won the first game, and against Paul. Paul is 1 in 4 versus, looks like
2 and 4.
two and 1 back.
Red, or is that? Have a look.
So Greg's back on the lawn, and well, we'll see whether he's going to look at tripling and finishing, closing out the match.
You had a bit of trouble with the red ball on the last.
Yes, Stephen was just saying that his favourite ball's the yellow one, so but he's basically got himself a 4-ball break, which enables him to switch things around reasonably quickly and potentially get a triple underway.
So would it be a delayed triple? He's got to make 2 off.
Yeah, he'll make 2 off partner. It'll depend on what sort of rush he gets out of 2. But he can pretty much set up for what would be maybe slightly delay, but if he gets a reasonable rush out of 2, potentially you can be looking at peeling 4 back after 3. A lot of this is keeping it very tight, and that's a wonderful load at hoop 2. And he's got a lovely rush there to just south of hoop 1. So
So Greg's with his favourite ball.
Yeah. Not so bad.
Much more conventional this game. And through we go.
And yeah, through he goes. So
race right across. It's amazing how much distance the players get with such a smooth swing and good contact. There's no need to bash it.
no, and looking, with I was discussing the speed of the lawn. The lawns are a good speed here at the moment. I think they were running at around 11 seconds or so a few weeks back for the Fletcher Sharp, and
So what do you mean by 11 seconds, Jim?
So when they measure the speed of the lawn, the idea is that you hit the ball from one end, from let's say A balk down to B balk, and it's how long it takes. So the idea is that the ball starts one end and it stops on the line at the other end, and the longer it takes for it to stop is the faster it is.
So an 11-second lawn is faster than a 10-second lawn.
Yes, simply because it's travelling the same distance, but you don't have to hit it as hard.
Right.
And so therefore the speed,
Yeah.
11 seconds is it certainly is a good speed. I wouldn't think that there'd be many clubs that would. I think most clubs, if they could get it to 11 seconds, would be good.
I think most clubs would be happy with 10.
10, that's right.
Yeah.
So Greg's putting blue here as his reception ball after hoop 2, and the reason for that is that he'll look at he's switching the balls around. So
Only on hoop 2?
Only on hoop 2, and what this means that he'll be able to load hoop 4 with blue and then rush yellow across to hoop 3, and he'll have a triple peel on time.
Yep.
So the time to start thinking about a triple peel is when?
Right from the word go. He would have been right at the beginning of the break. He'd be going, okay, how do I go about this? And even with that shot there, he's going to be using. He'll hit this towards the corner, and that means that and he's going over there now to see where he wants to hit it from. So he knows his ratios. So when he plays the drive shot, he'll end up with a rush on yellow towards hoop 3.
So do you think Greg has to practice anymore?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, look, you don't stop practicing. There's, and most of it, a lot of croquet, I believe, is muscle memory.
Yeah.
And then when you go and play in different tournaments, each lawn is different. So, I mean, Greg, I know, spent some time on the lawn here Thursday afternoon after playing in Canley. The lawn speed here is quicker than what Canley was last week.
Yeah.
So it's getting used to the lawn. So yeah, that's probably Red's gone a little further than what Greg would have liked.
Yeah, but that hoop was in a nasty position, so
Yeah.
probably better to her on that side.
He wouldn't be too worried about where blue ended up. It's ended up quite short of hoop 4. But you can see now he's going to roll this across. He's going to attempt to get yellow in peeling position.
Bit deep for that,
but he's got a nice rush on black towards the hoop. There we go. So once again, nicely in front of the hoop, and the great part about being in front of the hoop when you're playing your hoop approach shot is that you've got you've got control over where you're putting your croquet ball. You can put it out to the right, the left.
Yeah.
So he'll just.
Now, what's he going to do? He's going to try with.
This is so he's going to yellow first, and obviously he won't be able to peel it from there, but he will just leave it back, croquet it back in front of the hoop. Given that blue is quite some distance away from hoop 4, he'll look at just getting things nice and tight getting the brake back under control. So he's got yellow now nicely in front of the hoop, and he'll look at potentially putting in a So he's rushed that across to the other side of the lawn, but this croquet shot, and he's rushed it so to a point where he's now got the rush line in on blue. So he's taking the angles out of the larger croquet shots.
Right. So it's nice to keep your game straight, so that you can.
Yes.
You want to be able to rush a ball in a straight line rather than with a cut, because as we see, cuts don't always do what you want. Nice shot in there.
So,
nice distance.
Yeah.
In the centre. Black's a nice pioneer. So what's he thinking now?
So at some point he's going to be looking at placing a ball back down towards four back where yellow is, and that will basically be his load for hoop 6. So normally, and like it just, so he's driving this all the way through. The only risk here potentially can be rushing blue into the back of hoop 4.
So he wants blue halfway between 2 and 6, or?
So what I believe he'll look at doing is getting it reasonably close to 4 back.
Right.
And he'll probably end up positioning that with a croquet shot. Yep. So he's hit that nice and straight. So the idea is here is he will bring blue across to 4 back. It'll be just a tap on at yellow, and then taking off from yellow back up to black.
Yeah.
So the position of black is quite good. Usually it's on the other side. So we can see there that blue is now level. Now level with 4 back, which is a really good spot for it.
Got to be a pretty fine takeoff.
It's got to be a fine takeoff. Usually black is on the other side of hoop 5, but at least it's level. So he'll just be looking at ending up a couple of yards north of black.
Which he is.
Which he is, so everything's going to plan at this point. And he's in good position now to, and he'll be looking at getting a rush out of this hoop.
So it's a good lesson on how to set up your delayed triplet.
Yes, look, you couldn't ask for yellow and blue to be in better positions, and with the stop shot that Greg and that they get out of these Invictus mallets. There we go. He's got the rush down. So he needs to rush this in a position, so he'll be looking at putting black across over to 1 back. So you can either go long or it can go short. He's looking at putting it that bit longer. So he's deliberately hit it down there to enable the shot to, his next croquet shot, to load 1 back with black. And he'll be looking at getting red nice and close to yellow. that is nasty.
Is he wide? Yes.
He is wide. Now, the good part is he's still able to continue the break.
Yes.
So
But he won't get the triple going.
he won't.
Not yet, anyway.
It's still possible.
Yeah.
So he's the part of the issue is that black is south of the hoop. If it was north of the hoop, it's a little easier to get going. But there's still a possibility there. So
Do you think he'll give it a go?
absolutely. Right, so he's just through that hoop. He might be. He is
It's that
hampered.
pesky red ball again.
So having said he'd give the triple a go, it's more than likely he's going to bail out of it. Of course, he's still got things under control.
He's got his break under control.
He's got his break under control, and that's the big thing of any of these triples, knowing when to start, but also knowing when to bail out of doing the triple, but keeping your break under control. So Greg here is just looking at loading 2 back. So all of this will continue to be quite tight. That's a wonderful load. 2 back.
Oh, it's gone a bit beyond.
Just a bit beyond, but you know he's got control of the other balls and a nice load at 1 back. So.
So now it's just a standard 4-ball break to the peg.
It's now a standard 4-ball break to the peg. And set a lead. So with yellow a bit south of 1, he'll be looking at rushing blue down towards corner 1. That was close. That wasn't as closer to the centre that he would have liked, but and with this shot here, he's just putting the main thing he'll be concentrating on here is getting red in a position to rush blue down towards corner 1.
Yeah. Ooh, a little far.
There we go. And it's got the legs to go right into the corner.
Wow. It's a decent cut.
And
it nearly hit the corner flag.
And from that position, of course, you know, he's playing back onto the rush line, so he's able to load 3 back and get position on yellow to once again promote it back in front of 2 back. lovely shot. So
It's a little shot. I noticed he put a little bit of roll on that. He was stood forward to play that.
yeah,
drive.
and it comes back to the people knowing what their ratios are with their
Yeah.
mallets. So I believe the Invictus mallet gives you a more of a stop shot,
Yes.
whereas some of the, like a trimmer mallet, the ratio is probably closer to 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 versus an Invictus of maybe 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he was playing black down to that position, you know, he's deliberately playing it to that position because he knows that when he plays a shot out of a hoop, out of 2 back,
He'll have the.
this is just a straightforward, that was just a normal swing, and you know, he's got yellow beautifully loaded for 4 back, and he's got a very simple promotional shot on black towards blue.
So no chance of a triple.
Not at this point, no. It's being hampered out of 6 was the thing that sort of probably squashed the last bit of it. I mean, it is still possible with a straight, but you need both the opponent balls down this end, and he's loading now Rover.
So what's he going to do now?
This will be once again probably end up being a diagonal spread.
So he wouldn't go all the way to the peg?
He'll go all the way to the peg.
Yep.
And then he'll be looking at setting up a diagonal spread or something where the opposition balls are wide around the peg. And forcing Trevor to have one last attempt of staying in the match. So nice, very nice load there on Knoll.
So if Greg's got red on the peg and yellow on 4 back and Trevor hits, what's his strategy then?
First of all, you'd be, and with Trevor to be going to, you know, making you break through to 4 back. At that point, he wouldn't be doing any TPOs or anything like that. I'm sure that he attempted that in the first match, but that was when both of them were on. Greg was still, you know, hoop 1 or.
So he won't
2 or
try and
something
go
like that.
but
But
and
not-
peg him out
No.
because yellow's on 4 back, I suppose.
Basically because Greg is well around.
Yeah.
Trev would be starting at hoop 1. Greg would be starting at potentially 4 back. And the other part to this would be Greg shooting.
Yeah.
Greg would have the opportunity to shoot, and you'd probably back him in to hit something at some point.
So now we are, red's gone through penultimate.
Yep. So Greg will just be looking at putting black towards the peg. relatively close to it. With yellow probably not too far away from black, or that's where it'll end up once he gets down to. He might take yellow down to blue and then croquet it back towards where black is.
Yeah, it's much easier to do it that way, isn't it?
So yes, he's. Of course, the other thing is you don't want them too close to the peg because you don't want to go through rover, knock blue away, and then all of a sudden have to come back close to the peg and inadvertently peg out. So we can see here that Greg's putting yellow back towards black. And of course he's going to give himself a nice little rush into. So
he just tipped blue
on the way through. He probably played that deliberately, given the distance that yellow travelled.
Very careful.
So he's put it out to the left as we're looking at it. So he's then able to rush this to a position where once again he'll be playing some sort of like a drive. That's it. So he'll be playing this directly across the lawn past the peg. And
so blue's going to go over near the west boundary, isn't it?
And because he's just playing this as a drive, he'll come in on black. Being able to promote black closer to the peg. There we go.
Yep.
So he's now looking at his spot.
So that's a couple of diagonal spreads, Greg.
Couple,
He always seems to like to have the ball down a bit from the centre. So
yeah, you might have gone just a smidgen far, but nothing to be too worried about.
So you think it's not by design, it's just the way it's gone?
Yeah, he's and with when you're at this point, he'd be just making sure that he's getting these too wide. Where blue is at the moment, irrespective of whether Trev picks up black or blue, there's plenty of room for Greg to play. So imagine this is it is wide, otherwise he wouldn't be looking at that particular spot, so he's going to have to roll. He would have liked to have played a croquet shot to get yellow to the boundary, but he's going to have to roll from where yellow is. So he's got a bit of space there. Got about a yard or maybe 2 yards to play with.
Yes, so you're noticing that he's picking a spot on the boundary, then measuring in, so he knows where the ball is going to be after it goes out and it's measured in.
That's it.
So,
And so where blue is in relation to, so yes, he's put his mallet down. He knows that he's probably got maybe 2 to 3 feet either side of where his mallet is.
So what do you normally line up with? Do you line up with a point on the line, or do you line up with a bush and a car?
Look, if there's a bush and a car or whatever else is in the background, obviously yes, you're allowed to put your mallet down and say, righto, well, I'm lining up with that. He's now got the line of the ball, so the main thing is that he's hitting this as straight as he possibly can. Yellow is going to go to that place where he marked.
So look at his hand positions on the mallet for the roll.
So he's very much looking at maybe not quite an equal roll. Might have gone a little bit south of where he wanted it, but that's a very good roll. He didn't get it quite into the yard line, and he's got plenty of distance there as well. So, so where blue is, so if Trevor picks up black, it's more than likely that Trevor will pick up, will shoot from B-balk. No, he's going to shoot from A-balk. So
he's going to shoot at red and yellow, is he?
He's shooting at red and yellow. So
I would have thought blue would have been a better shot with black from B-balk.
So I guess the other part to this is like where Trev can make it easy for himself. So if he's shooting at yellow or red, he's probably got yellow as the shorter shot. He's watching it. Ooh, just missed.
Yeah. So he shouldn't have tried to shoot black at hoop one, get through the hoop, rotate blue.
No.
That's a GC strategy.
Yeah, no, that's
risk and return.
Risk and return. And so we see Greg here, and this is the thing with blue in the court. Greg is basically going to be hitting red onto the boundary on the other side. There we go.
There it goes. So much distance, such an easy spot.
Right. Doesn't even get to the boundary, but he doesn't need it. He'll be putting red at Penalt and getting a rush on blue. If he actually if he overplayed the shot in getting the rush on blue, he can potentially rush blue back over to black on the boundary line. So, but he's going to be playing this quite positively.
Right.
Get a nice rush on blue.
It's probably good enough. Oh,
Yep.
Red's in a nice position. This is why you practice 3-ball breaks.
That's exactly right.
You never know when you might have to do one to finish off a game.
And look, he could have picked up black, but there's no need to.
There's no need to make it harder than it needs to be.
No. And had he hit black, he would have been hitting it away. He's then got to come back and get the rush on red.
And if he's like Joanne and done all those practices of 3-ball breaks, he'd be feeling very comfortable.
Got a nice position here, and red's just the other side of Penalt, so he will.
So how do you think about running the hoop but also getting the ball to land in that spot? Do you think about both, or you just hope?
Well, I know some people spend a lot of time doing that. Probably one person who's done it the most is Reg Bamford. Reg has a couple of practice drills where he literally puts a ball on the boundary, say where black is, halfway between 3 and 4, or he might do it on the western boundary between 1 and 2, and he has so he's rushing to hoop 2. He then plays the shot through hoop 2 so that he gets the rush back to the ball that's on the boundary, and then he goes and rushes that ball back on the boundary to hoop 1 and goes backwards and forwards, and it's all to do with, hey, I'm looking at getting.
You've got to have a good eye for the hoop. How many times you spend so much time concentrating, you don't touch a leg on the way through and you end up way down.
Now here's an opportunity, like he's thinking about, well, hey, he's got the rush directly to black. Does he take it? There's no need for him to take it, but you know he may well do.
But he wants to get red near the hoop.
No, he just wants. He just wanted to get a position where you go, right, what's...
but now he's going to go back to blue?
He'll go back to blue, but he's playing this shot.
He'll push red across a bit to the hoop. What
he's done is he's given him space to play a croquet shot to get red back towards the peg. Had he just gone tap, he would have had to have then played a roll shot or something, which is a more difficult shot to play, whereas this is just
a good lesson there about rushing, not just tapping and rolling.
Not just tapping and rolling, but to actually hitting out to a position where you then play your croquet shot back.
Well, we try and teach beginners not to roll, but unfortunately they learn it when they go on the lawn with other players.
One of the exercises that I do is, and like I will go out to where black is, and I play a croquet shot where I'm loading 5 and putting a ball at 6.
Right.
And the beauty of that is that you line up, obviously, one of the balls at hoop, let's say hoop 5, and there's that, and you want to get the other ball to 6. Well, the line of swing is straight at the peg because that's halfway. And so then you've taken out the...
Well, we should probably watch the last
of
shot
it
now.
So Greg has got this, he's done very well, just what ended up being a 9-12-5.
Yeah.
And here he is pegging off.
This is the championship
to be
shot.
The New South Wales men's champion for 2025.
Good.
Well done, Greg.
And next week will be the New South Wales Women's Championship. Maybe, Joanne, we can talk then about whether it should be a women's and a men's, or just an open and a women's.
Oh, we didn't talk about it.
No. But of course you'll probably be in the final next week. So we'll interview you after the final. Well, that was pretty well done by Greg.
He just got hampered there after 6 with his favourite red ball, and was able to just maintain control of the game. And
I was talking to one of our beginners this week who had 6 wins in a row and then lost 18-0, and I said to her, it might be your first nil, but it won't be the last. So as our listeners know, 26-0 is a better loss than 26-1. Greg couldn't have done, Trevor couldn't have done too much, but well played Trevor and well played Greg. So congratulations to Greg Fletcher, Croquet New South Wales Men's Open Champion for 2025, and Trevor Bassett is runner-up. So, and remember that Croquet Australia may be in contact with you. You never know. You never know. So I think we'll call it the end of our broadcast. Thank you to Jim Nichols and to Joanne Brown, and this is Steve Miles saying see you on the lawn, and hope you listen in next week for the New South Wales Women's Open from Mossman Croquet Club. Thank you.